Welcome back to the Maximum Lawyer Podcast. I'm Tyson Mutrux. Jim is on assignment. And today, this is a pop-up podcast with our very good friend of the show, Joey Vitale. What's up, Joey?
Hey, Tyson. Man, thanks so much for having me. It's such an honor to be on this thing.
You know what? It's an honor to have you. It's an honor to hear you speak again. So we had a rule that we've actually delayed a little bit. We're going to institute a new rule where you can't speak 2 years in a row. Or actually, I think it's that you can't speak more than 2 years in a row, I think is what the rule was. But because of COVID, we're like, you know what, let's just throw that out the door, out the window, and let's just reset it. It's going to be a reset. So luckily we get to have you back because your presentation was one of the most talked about at the last conference. So what we're going to do today is we're going to tease your topic. It's going to be 10 minutes or so. So tell us about what your topic is first. So let's start with that. Let's just give us the topic.
Well, I heard the topic doesn't matter if you dress up like Santa.
It's exactly true. So if you missed the last conference, you missed Santa Claus. And my kids actually got to meet Santa backstage, and it made their year. They were so surprised. It was in the middle of the summer, and they're like, oh my gosh, can you believe we got to see Santa Claus? It was so cool. And so if you don't know who Santa is, you missed out because you weren't there.
That's true. That's true. So I got to figure out what my costume is going to be for this next one. But I'm going to be talking about a pretty big topic of VAs or virtual assistants. And Tyson, I mean, I'm honored to be speaking. It's interesting because so many people, especially in the guild, I think can speak to lessons learned when it comes to VAs. But what I've found, especially after 2020, is that the term VA or virtual assistant is not only a more and more popular phrase that people are learning about, but it's also becoming more and more meaningless. Because now pretty much every assistant that you work with is either entirely or in part virtual. And so I really want to get specific on what I mean when I talk about the VAs and the topics that I'm going to be doing. Because really, I'm not going to be talking about VAs in general. I'm going to be talking about what I call OA VAs.
Okay, what is that? I've never heard this before. OVAA?
OAVA, which is an overseas administrative virtual assistant.
OAVA. You need a better acronym.
Because that's really what people meant traditionally when they were talking about VAs. And now you've got like leadership team member VAs on your team, which is, I think, a topic for an entirely different conversation. But an OAVA, or an overseas administrative virtual assistant, is a really great, and what I found really critical part of a growing business or growing law firm, because it allows you to hire before you think that you're ready. And you don't need necessarily all of these systems and processes, which I know you're all about, in place before you start to bring them on.
So can we just drop the first A, like, and just call it OVA? Because I feel like the second,
because it's got to be administrative. This is the other key part. And I tell people, I love that we didn't script this, and I don't usually fight Tyson, but I will go to bat on this one, because so many people, they try and look overseas for skilled labor. They're like, oh, let me see if I can find someone in the Philippines who's skilled with Facebook ads, or who can do my website for me. I am a huge proponent of what I call the mailroom strategy. Meaning that your first hire overseas should not be skilled. You're really looking for someone who can just follow instructions and be a good fit on your company. And so you're really just looking for an administrative VA, somebody who either can follow steps that you've already outlined, or who can watch a video of you doing something and create steps and then follow those steps.
Gotcha. I was just checking something. We lost the live feed for some reason. So what we'll do is we'll upload the video. I'm not really sure why we lost the live feed.
Oh, weird.
Good thing about StreamYard is that I can re-push this as if it's live. And so if you're watching this the second time, it's not actually live, but I will have it open so that we can answer any questions. So I'm not really sure why we lost that, but we lost the feed. But so what is, and I wonder what your like when you came around to the idea of VAs, because I feel like you did adopt it fairly early, unless I'm missing it. But didn't you come along to the idea of VAs pretty early?
I did. So I the first business book I ever read was The 4 Hour Workweek.
Yeah,
which talked in large part about having a virtual assistant. And so I probably didn't go more than a month or two in my own law firm before I put some job posting out there. It might have been Upwork or something, saying, hey, I can pay somebody $5 an hour for 5 hours a month just to start, cleaning up what's in that Google Drive. And we went forward from there.
Isn't it really kind of cool? Like, and I like that you gave that very specific thing, because I think it's really, really important to give to at least starting, you can expand the role, but at least starting is having a very, very specific role, not something, because I think and I wonder what your thoughts are on this. And I don't want to give away too much, but I think one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is like, they're like, I'm going to hire a VA and they're going to do everything. They're going to take over my entire practice. And then they don't use them because the person doesn't know what the hell to do, right? Like, so
you sounded kind of like lawman there.
I'm the lawman. Not making fun of you, Bill. I just wish I could do it like you. I can't do it.
I can't either.
Voice. I don't know how he sustains the voice for as long as he does. I don't know how he still has a voice after doing it.
I know.
But talk about that though, really quick, and then we'll start to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, I think it's really important to think about what it is that you want them to do. At the same time, I don't think that you need to wait on finding a VA, because there's about a year ago, I came up with for my own team a process for hiring overseas administrative virtual assistants. And I shared that Google Doc in the guild, and people have been loving it, the people who have seen it. And it's now a part of some programs that I'm offering to business owners and not just lawyers. And so I've been tweaking it, simplifying it. I'm going to be presenting a revised version of it during the training so that you really have no excuse. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see that I tell people is you don't have to hire someone, but it's still important and it's still really powerful just to go through the process of putting out a job posting, qualifying candidates. Because now I'm at a point where whenever we realize that something needs to get shifted to somebody who's not currently on the team, I now have a lead overseas VA who does the entire hiring process for me.
I love it. I love it. All right, we're going to leave it there. Okay, that's a nice little team. So I'm going to post the link to sign up for the conference in the comments. Before I wrap things up, give one pitch for people why they should go to the conference, and then tell people how they can get in touch with you if they have questions.
Because you get CLE credit.
That's a nice little inside joke there. I did last time request. I got a CLE credit for Missouri people. So that's.
Oh, did you really?
That's funny you say that.
That's awesome.
Seriously, why do you think people should go to the conference? And
I think it allows lawyers, especially who really need this, to put their egos really to the side for the entire time that they're there. Because I can't tell you how many times I've been at conferences where the person to my left and the person to my right, we're all just kind of like, oh yeah, I've heard this before, whatever. And Max Law is, I'm serious, one of the only conferences I've ever been to where it seems like the entire room, even though we all have our egos as lawyers, we kind of put that to the side and we're like, no, we are going to learn something from every single person who takes the stage, and from every meal that we have, and from every social networking event, which it's just something that you don't see anywhere else.
It's an interesting feel, right? It's just a different feel from a normal conference. I know the first one had a different feel from the second one, and this will have a different feel from the second one and the first one. But it was just both times I was kind of in awe that these people are willing to share all, like you're willing to share all this great information, and other speakers are willing to fly in and share all this information. And it's really great. It's just a cool feeling, and being around everybody, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks to you and Jimbo for doing it all.
I get all the credit. No, Becca
should get more credit.
She gets
true.
All the credit is what she gets. But anyways, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And I will upload this in a few minutes. Thanks, dude.
Absolutely. All right. See you, everybody.